Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Road to Worlds Regional Rundown. I'm your host, Daniel Madison, and we are in week 4 of the Star Trek CCG regional season for 2015, which means we're going to talk about upcoming regional championship events and recap the events that took place last weekend. So, first, a correction. I incorrectly previewed a couple of regional events taking place in Washington State. I identified them as taking place this past weekend. They have not actually happened yet. They are coming up this weekend. The dates were incorrectly listed on the regional schedule, so I kind of jumped the gun on those. So we are going to briefly bring them up again when I get to the preview section of the show. So let's start off with the events that actually did happen this past weekend. On April 11th, we had the CODCON, 11th and 12th actually, we had the CODCON regional events in Glen Ellen, Illinois. That's the Chicago area. And so we're going to start with second edition. So the second edition regional for Illinois drew 7 players, and it was won by Al Schaefer, who was piloting a Cardassian deck. Second place was Michael Moskop with Starfleet, and third place was Maggie Geppert running Voyager. So, congratulations to Al Schaefer. Al went 3-0, earning victories against Jeremy Huth, Brian Leonard, and Michael Moskop. Al will get the earned bye at Continentals if he chooses to go. And this is Al's 6th regional win for second edition. Al is also the biggest ratings jump from the event, going up 32 points to a 1627 rating. So congrats again to Al. Looking quickly over at Tribbles. Tribbles had 8 players. That was on the same day, and the winner for that event was Brian Leonard. Brian will receive a 100,000 Tribble head start at North American Continentals. So, congratulations, Brian. Finally, on April 12th, Illinois had its first edition OTF event, and this one only had 4 players. And the winner was Jeremy Huth, who was running a DS9 Bajoran Fed Here by Invitation deck, I believe. Jeremy defeated. He went 2-1, defeating Jason Bayer and Edward Pigman, but losing to Michael Moskop in the first round. This is Jeremy's second regional win, and Jeremy, however, already has a bye because he was the runner-up at Worlds last year. So the bye for Continentals will be handed down to second place and will go to Edward Pigman. So congrats to him as well. The biggest ratings gain for this event is also Edward Pigman, who went up 24 points to 1543 with this event. That was it for regionals this past weekend, but one other event did take place. One big event that you probably already know that I'm definitely going to talk about, and that is Trek Masters Orlando. I'm just going to recap basically the facts and figures here. I'm hoping to do a longer show, like one of the podcasts, going to assimilate this episode covering Trek Masters Orlando shortly. I just need to get a guest lined up, so that'll be out soon. But yeah, Trek Masters Orlando happened. We had 16 players for second edition, which is phenomenal. And seriously, this event was a blast, and I'm so glad that so many people came out and had a good time. And I can't wait to talk about it more on the podcast. But yeah, 16 players for second edition. And the winner of this event was Jeffrey Peterson, who's a local player, and he was running TNG. Second place was Tyler Fultz, who traveled out from Texas. Tyler was running Bajoran. And I actually placed third. I was also running Bajoran. Um, so Jeffrey went 5-1 over 6 rounds. He beat me, Justin Ford, Joe Bazemore, Ron Oliver, and Tyler Fultz. His only loss was to Sean O'Reilly, who ended up taking 6th place himself. Sean had the largest ratings increase with this event. Despite his 6th place finish, his rating went up 85 points to 1591. I should also mention that both John Corbett, who placed 4th, and Justin Ford, who placed 7th, they both made it over the 60-point Masters point threshold needed to earn themselves buys for both Continentals and Worlds in 2016. So congratulations to those guys as well. We also played, that was on Saturday, we also played Tribbles on Saturday night, and we had 17 players for Tribbles. And the winner of that event was John Kinney, another local winner. Congratulations to John. Second place was Lucas Thompson, and third place was Justin Ford. And Justin, once again, for Tribbles, he also passed the 60-point threshold. So he would get the head start for Continentals and Worlds of next year. Finally, we played First Edition on Sunday, and we had 10 players show up to play some 1E. And the winner of that event was Ryan Sutton, making his 2nd consecutive Masters win. Ryan was running a Federation Enterprise E deck with Maquis and Sona support, and yeah, he went undefeated, 4-0, beating Lucas Thompson, John Paul Vesey, Justin Ford, and Sean O'Reilly. Justin came in 2nd place. He was running Kazan Battle, and he had the biggest ratings jump of the day, going up 88 points. And John Paul Vesey was our 3rd place finisher. So yeah, that's Trek Masters Orlando. Those were the results. Can't wait to talk about this more. But you guys are here to talk about regionals, so we're going to get back to that. This is week 4, and this weekend we have a number of events. Something like 6 or 7, I think 6 events this weekend. So we're going to start, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to start with Auburn, Washington. This is just outside Seattle, I believe. In the Ferenginar region, we've got all 3 regional events taking place here, directed by Justin Ford. I talked about the 1E and Tribbles events a little bit last week. The Tribbles event now is up to 5 players pre-registered, and the 1E is still at 3rd. 3 players pre-registered, but I'm fairly certain that both of these events are going to fire. Ferenginar region has a very large, very diverse player base, and I don't think they're going to have any problems getting the players together for these events. The next day, on the 19th, is their 2E regional. I did not talk about this one last weekend. And there are 6 players pre-registered for this so far, including TD Justin Ford, and last year's winner, Ken Tufts, who's also the highest rated among the pre-registered players. Although Michael Van Bremen is also on this list. His rating is 1,800, so between him and Ken, some top talent there, gunning it out for a regional win. So, but 6 players and a very strong group. Anything could happen. So that's Washington. We've also got an event in Mount Vernon, Ohio. This is the Kronos region. This is a second edition event. The tournament director is Joel Scahn, and there are 6 players pre-registered for this event. The highest rated of which is Jared Hoffman, who's well over 1,800. Joel is the second highest, and then we have a couple players that I just saw at Trek Masters Orlando in Josh Sheets and John Vesey. So excited to see what they can do here back up north in Ohio. So good luck to those guys. This is the first event in this location. They have not played in Mount Vernon in previous years. There's also an event in Essex in the United Kingdom, Omarion Nebula region. This is Nicholas Yankovic is the tournament director for this one. I believe in previous years they've played in London, but this is the second annual regional to take place in Essex. Nick himself won last year, and he is the highest rated of the 4 players pre-registered so far. Will Hoskin is also on the list, and they usually get a few more players than that. I think they usually get a couple of late signups, so should be a fun and interesting event, and good luck to those guys. And finally, we've got an event in the Neutral Zone region. What? The Neutral Zone? Yes. This is the event in Cape Town, South Africa. This is a second edition standard event. The tournament director for this is Fritz Meissner. Believe it or not, this is the second annual regional championship for South Africa. Last year's winner was the TD, was Fritz. And so far he's the only player pre-registered, but I believe their play group, they have a fairly small play group, and they don't play a lot of events, and I think he's the only one that consistently uses the forum. So they tend to either show up. I think that they don't generally pre-register, and that they just all show up on the day of the event. So I suspect that this is going to fire. I think he gets like 4 to 6 players for his tournament. So good luck, Fritz, and good luck to anyone else that's going to be at that event. And that is it for regionals coming up this weekend. I do need to mention, because I keep forgetting to, that if you want more in-depth analysis of the decks that won each of these regionals, check out Lucas Thompson's Road to Worlds article series, where he's been analyzing so far every deck that has won a regional. He got Kevin Reitzel's deck from the first week, and then he covered Ryan Sutton and Nathan Miracle's decks from week 2. So I expect him to continue to do this, and yeah, it's really good stuff. It's definitely worth the read. And of course, you can check out these regional championship tournament pages, as many of these deck lists are posted, and many of the players are writing tournament reports as well. And Jeffrey Peterson, in fact, has also written a tournament report for Trek Masters Orlando, so that's definitely worth the read if you want to check that out, see what it was like playing in such a large competitive environment. Okay, so that's about it for this week. We will be back next week to recap the events that I just talked about, and to look ahead to next weekend's events, including a couple of events, a bunch of events in Florida. So looking forward to talking about those, because I'll be at those. But that's going to be it for this weekend. So until next time, this is Daniel Madison, ending transmission.